Hey guys, what the crap is going on? Before we get into this video, if you guys already haven't hit that subscription button, make sure you do so. That would be greatly appreciated. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing my top 5 NFL offensive breakout players of 2019. So it doesn't have to mean they're rookies. It just has to mean I think they're going to have a breakout season, and they didn't have too hot of a season the year before. So starting at number 5, I'm going to be taking Kyle Rudolph. And I think this is a huge breakout player because he has a lot of trade talks going on right now. Minnesota does not want to re-sign him, it does not sound like. And there are teams interested. I'm hearing that the Patriots are interested, and Lord have mercy if the Patriots get him. That's too much. That's too much. I know Gronk's retired, but I mean, come on. We can't give the Patriots a tight end like that right off the bat. That'd be insane. So that's one of the reasons I'm saying he could be a breakout player. But I'm thinking a lot of the teams that are interested in him are already going to have a decent quarterback. So I really think he can put up a nice season wherever he goes, especially because in Minnesota, he doesn't get utilized as much as I think he could. Because now you have Stephon Diggs, one of the better receivers, and obviously Adam Thielen. Just got a big contract re-signing. So Kyle Rudolph definitely has been getting less snaps than usual. So yeah, I feel like wherever he goes, if he does end up getting traded, he is going to be a monster for somebody. Coming in at number 4, we're going to go with Leonard Fournette. I know he kind of had a down year last year, but that was kind of due to injuries. He's had a couple of injury concerns, so that could be a problem, but I'm thinking he's going to have a nice breakout year next year. He finally gets a quarterback possibly in Nick Foles to help him out a little bit so they're not just loading the box against him. So they're going to have that to work with, especially now Leonard Fournette entering his 3rd year. Jacksonville coming off not so hot of a year, and just the year before, they were actually in the conference championship. So that's kind of a huge fall for Jacksonville. I definitely expect them to be back up near the top of the AFC and probably in the playoffs if I had to pick right now. So yeah, I feel like Leonard Fournette is going to come back and have a nasty year, because mostly they're not going to be able to load the box against him because they actually have a quarterback now that can make reads when they need to be made in Nick Foles. He proved that in Philadelphia, so that's going to help out a lot for him. Their offensive line isn't too shabby. Andrew Norwell is coming into his 2nd year now with the Jacksonville, and he's one of the better guards in the league. Jacksonville actually doesn't have a bad offensive line. They do have a couple holes, but for the most part, interiorly, they're pretty decent. So I am taking Leonard Fournette for my number 4 pick. Moving on to number 3 here, we're going to be sticking with that same theme here. Sticking with the running backs, going to go with David Johnson at number 3. I think he's one of the most talented running backs currently. I mean, he's one of the best receivers. You could put Le'Veon Bell above him, but he's up there. He's definitely top 3. I guess you'd have Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, and David Johnson. But David Johnson's kind of had a rough. He's been on Arizona, who hasn't been too hot. I know they were good that one year when he was a rookie, but Carolina kind of destroyed them in the playoffs. But now they got a quarterback in Kyler Murray that's going to take a little of the pressure, actually, off David Johnson, because they're going to have to kind of contain Kyler Murray. So I feel like that's going to leave a lot more opportunities for David Johnson. I feel like the read options for Arizona are going to be second to none, because you're going to have Kyler Murray and David Johnson on one side. So that's going to be kind of like pick your poison. Plus, he's shown that he can receive the ball quite well. He's already came out and said, I believe, that he wants to have 1,000-yard rushing and 1,000 yards receiving season this year. So he's setting his hopes high, and so am I. I'm having him as my number 3 breakout player of the year. Let me know if you guys think he's going to be a breakout player as well. Moving on to my number 2 pick here, I am going to be rolling with Sammy Watkins here for Kansas City. And I do believe because it's going to be mostly because Tyreek Hill's situation is still unknown. I do think he is at least going to get hit with a suspension for probably 8 games most likely, but it could be a ban, and the Chiefs could just end up releasing him. So I'm going to put Sammy Watkins up here. I'm hearing things like Sammy Watkins is looking the best he's ever looked right now in this camp. He wants to be the #1 receiver. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. I mean, I know NFL players like to say that at the start of the season, but it's coming from pretty serviceable sources from Kansas City. So I feel like that's going to be pretty nasty. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, we know he can sling it. We know he can find people. And Sammy Watkins, he's no slouch. I mean, he's only about 25. Hasn't really had that breakout season yet. Was at Buffalo, got traded to the Rams for a year. Then got shipped off to Kansas City, picked up in free agency, got a huge contract. So I'm feeling like this is going to be the year for him. He's had a year under Kansas City's regime, kind of to see what's going on from the playbook and such. So I feel like this is going to be his breakout year. Him and Patrick Mahomes might get a little bit of something going, maybe get a little bit hot together. So I'm going to have Sammy Watkins coming in at #2. And then coming in at #1, we're going to be rolling with Cam Newton. He's had a few down years, to be honest, but it wasn't that long ago that he won the MVP and was playing in the Super Bowl. That wasn't too long ago, only a couple years now. So I know he's had a couple down years, but Carolina seems to, a couple years they'll go off and on. So they'll be good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And this should be one of those years where they have a bounce back year after going 6-10. A pretty, unfortunate circumstance when Cam Newton got injured in that Pittsburgh game, because Cam Newton looked the best he had ever looked passing the ball. He was almost at a 70% completion rate, which is huge for him because he's usually low 60s, maybe mid 60s. So he definitely has shown that he did improve as a pocket passer last year, but that injury kind of derailed his whole season, which is a bit of a bummer because I'm kind of a Carolina fan. If I had to pick a second team, that would be them. But I feel like if he's fully healthy coming into this season, which it seems like he should be the starter week 1, I feel like having a little bit of quarterback, somebody behind you now that Carolina drafted, might just light a fire under Cam Newton, and he might even go back to the kind of year he had when he won the MVP. It's entirely possible because just as a whole, though, Carolina is very stacked. So now he's going to have DJ Moore to throw to, who I'm very much like. He's a very nice receiver. They got McCaffrey, who is like a Swiss Army knife. He can receive the ball, run the ball. He's put on massive weight, so he might be able to run in between the tackles, take some pressure off Cam Newton. They're still going to call read options, no doubt about that. But I feel like with pieces starting to surround him now, they went after the left tackle, Greg Little, who I think should help out a lot. Finally try to protect the blind side of Cam Newton. I have him as my #1 breakout player of the year. So let me know what you guys thought of my list. If you guys agree or disagree, and if you do disagree, go ahead and leave me your top 5 players for breakout down in the comments section below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure you hit that subscription button. That would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.